Greetings everyone, you are welcome to this video tutorial. In this video tutorial, we will talk about GUI programming, how to start IDE programming using Java NetBeans. And this is part 1 of this topic. NetBeans IDE. NetBeans is used to create Java applications using the efficient GUI builder. Here, IDE is an acronym for Integrated Development Environment, which is a work environment that integrates all tools necessary for application development and makes them available as part of one environment. So, all the tools are integrated and they are available as part of one environment. GUI is an acronym for Graphical User Interface, which is an interface that allows us to interact with the various components through visual elements, including pictures, graphical icons, symbols, visual indicators, etc. Now let us talk about the various components of NetBeans IDE. The various components of Java NetBeans are title bar, menu bar, toolbar, GUI builder. GUI builder is an area to place components on the form visually, and there are two views of the GUI builder, the design view and the source view. Then we have palette. It contains controls or components used to create GUI applications. Then we have inspector window. It is used to display hierarchical relationship among all the controls placed on the current form. Then there is a properties window. It is used to view and or edit properties of currently selected control on the form. Then there is code editor window. It is the area where we write code. Now let us see the how the GUI interface of NetBeans look like. See, this is the picture of the GUI interface of Java NetBeans. Now you can see the first is the title bar, which is we have menu bar. You can see all the menus here, and then we have the toolbar where all the tools are available. Now this is the project window, which gives us all the projects which we are doing in Java NetBeans. This is the inspector window, in which we can see the current project and what all components we are adding to it. It summarizes everything. Then this is the GUI builder, in which there are two tabs, source and design. This is the design area where we design our form, and if we click on the source tab, we can write the code into it. Now this is the palette in which all the swing controls are placed. We can choose and drag and drop the swing control to the design area to build our GUI. Then this is the properties window. In the properties window, the selected control properties are displayed here, which can be edited according to our choice. Now let us talk about project, forms and components and what is the relationship among three of them. Now each application is treated as a project in Java NetBeans. So all the application, whenever we create an application, it is treated as a project. Each project can have one or more forms. So we can have many forms in one project. So currently in this project we have form 1, form 2, form 3 and form 4. And each form can have one or more components. So we can place components of our choice in different forms according to our needs. Now components or controls. There are two types of controls, parent or container control and child control. Parent or container control, they act as background for other controls. For example, frame is one of the very useful parent control. When we delete or move a parent control, all its child controls get deleted or moved. Then child controls placed inside a parent or container control are called child control. And the examples of child control are button, text field, label, etc. So this is an example of a palette window which we have taken from Java GUI interface. So you can see here these are swing containers. So these are all parent control which are used to place child controls. And these swing controls, in which you can see label, button, checkbox, button group, these are all child controls. Some of these controls may be visible and some invisible, and the visible components, they are all shown under the frame component. So you can see, if I create, this is my frame component, if I create a label, it will display my label here. Entry of this label is also made here, and non-visible components, they are part of other components in the inspector window. This is my inspector window. So whatever controls I add to my frame, they will be displayed here also. And some controls which are not visible, they are placed in other components part of the inspector window. Now let us see in more detail. All the components including JFrame are considered as objects in Java. So all the components which we have discussed here, parent, child control, all these controls, they are treated as objects in Java. Each object has some properties, methods and events associated with it. Now each object has some properties, they have some methods and they have some events associated with it. Now what are properties? Properties specify the appearance of an object on the form. For example, font, background, foreground, etc. These are the properties of an object. Methods can be of two types, getters and setters. Getters method extracts some information from the object and return it to the program, and they usually start with the word get. So they extract information from the object and return it to the program. Very important to note. And the example of getters are get text, get selected value, etc. Setters, these are the methods which set some properties of the object so that the object's appearance changes. Here we are extracting data from the object, and here we are setting data for the object. And so setters, usually they start with the word set. And examples of setters are set text, set foreground, etc. Now we'll talk about events. These are the actions performed on control. For example, mouse click, key pressed, etc. When the user performs any action on a control, an event happens, and that event invokes the corresponding part of the code and the application behaves accordingly. So these are the events. When we suppose we click on any object, so some event happens, and that event invokes the corresponding part of the code and the application behaves accordingly. Now designing an application. For designing an application, the steps are: first we will create a new project, then we will add a new JFrame form to this project, then we will add the components on this JFrame form and associate the code with the component by double clicking the component, whatever code we need, how we want each component to work. We will add the code to the component by double clicking on the component, and then we add the source code and we test the form by pressing Shift F6. This is to run the form. This is how we can design an application. So let us see in more detail how to create a project. To create a new application project, suppose I want to create a project, my programs. So I will go to File and choose New Project. You can see here, this is my File option in the menu bar, and then from this I will select New Project. Alternately, you can click on the New Project icon in the toolbar, and there is a tool in the toolbar also. New Project icon is present, so I can click that also. Now from the categories, now when I click on this new window will open. Now in the categories pane, select Java, and in the projects pane, you have to choose Java application and then click on next. After that, you have to enter a name, project name. In this case, I am entering my programs in the project name field, and you can specify the location of the project according to your need, and by going to the browse button. And if you do not give any location, by default the project is saved in the NetBeans projects folder in my documents. You can see here in my documents it is stored in the NetBeans project folder. Now please ensure that The set as main project checkbox is selected. Now this is the latest version of Java in which this option has not been given. Otherwise, in all the earlier versions, this option is there. And please clear the create main class field. You have to clear this create main class field and uncheck this. And then click on finish to create the project. Now the next step is to create a form. Now we have to create a JFrame form. Forms are used to accept data or input from users and respond to actions like clicking on a button. Different actions, any action of our choice. Now how can I add frame to my form? To create a JFrame form container, in the project window, right click the My Program node. See, you can see this is my project window, and in this project window, I will find the My Programs project which I have just created, and I will right click here. When I right click here, this new option, I will click on the new dialog box. The dialog box will open, and I will click on new, and from this I will select JFrame form. When I select JFrame form, a new window will open again, and in this window I have to give the class name, and I can give any name. Suppose I am giving example 1, and this will be the name of my form also. And then after completing all the things, I will click on finish and my frame will be created. NetBeans creates example 1 form within the application and opens the form in the GUI builder of Java NetBeans, and now we can add components to the form. So once this is complete, my form will open up where and I'm ready to add the components to it. Now let us see what is option pane and how I can use it in Java NetBeans. Option pane is used when we want to request information from the user or display information to the user, or a combination of both. That is, when I want to request information or display information or combination of both, I can use option pane. And it requires the following import statement at the top of the program. So I need to add import javx.swing.jOptionPane, or I need to import javx.swing.start. So please remember to include this, otherwise you will get an error if you will use option pane. So the methods of option pane are show message dialog, show confirm dialog, and show input dialog. Now let us see how they all work. Show message dialog, it shows a one button model dialog box that gives the user some information. There is only one button. So example how I can use it. The example is jOptionPane.show message dialog. This, which is a reserved word, comma, let's learn Java. So when I will run this command, a dialog box will open, and in which let's learn Java is displayed, and then there is only one button, OK button is there. Then in show confirm dialog, it shows a 3-button model dialog that asks the user a question, and user can respond by pressing any of the suitable buttons. So I can use it like this. Suppose answer is a variable. I can equate it like this: answer equal to jOptionPane.show confirm dialog null, comma, this is null is a reserved word, do you like sports? So it will ask me whether I like sports or not, and there will be 3 options: yes, no, or cancel, and I can use any of the 3 options, and my response will be stored in answer. Show input dialog, this shows a model dialog that prompts the user for input. I can take input using show input dialog. It prompts the user with a text box in which user can enter the relevant input. Suppose I want the user to input the roll number, so I will write roll number equal to jOptionPane.show input dialog, this, comma, enter roll number. This message will be displayed, and then a text box will be displayed in which I can enter the roll number, and that roll number will be stored in this variable. Now let us see what is a button control, and after learning this we will make one project and try to run it. A button is a component that the user presses or pushes to trigger a specific action. When the user clicks on the button at runtime, the code associated with the click action gets executed. So we'll write on the click event of this button, we will write some code which gets executed when the user presses the button. So in the swing control, the button field looks like this. You can see this is the button field which can be easily dragged to design area to be included in the form. Now each button control has certain properties and certain methods. Here I have listed few important properties. Otherwise you can go to the properties window to see all the properties and methods of button control. So if we see few important properties, the first property is the background. It sets the background color of the button. Then the other property is foreground, which sets the foreground color of the button. Then there is font. I can set the font of text which appears on the button. And then the text, it is used to set the text displayed on the button. Whatever text I want to display on the button, that can be changed using the text property. Now let us see few methods. Set enabled. This method enables or disables the button. So I can write it like this: jbutton1.setEnabled false, or I can write down jbutton1.setEnabled true. So the first command will disable the button if I say it false, and this command will enable the button. So sometimes I want the button to be disabled initially and then I want it to be enabled. So I can use this command to disable the button, and this command is used to enable the button. Now next method is set visible. This method is used to make the button visible or invisible. So if I say jbutton1.setVisible false, my button will not be visible on the form. And if I say jbutton1.setVisible true, my button will be visible on the form. So these are few properties and few methods. You can explore more by going on the GUI interface of Java NetBeans. Now let us see how we can design screen in Java NetBeans using a simple program. In this program, I am creating a button and displaying a message enjoying Java using J option pane. On the click of the button, when I click this button, I will create a button, and when I click this button, this message will be displayed on the screen. Now I will first create a project, and in that project I will create a form, JFrame form, which we have already discussed. Now after that, to the form, I will drag and drop the button control from the swing palette into the design area. You can see this is my design area and this is the source. So I will first click on design area so that I can design my screen. As in this program, I want to create a button first. I will take the button, you can see this is the swing control in which button control is present. I will simply drag it and I will place it in the design area. Then I will select the button component by clicking on it. When I will click on this button control, I can see the various properties of it, and this is the glimpse of few properties. If you scroll down, you can see various other properties of this button. So in the buttons, you can see events, properties, code, binding, everything about this J button is available in this window. Now I can set the properties of the button in the properties window. Suppose I want to set the text as click. I want click should appear on my button. So I will make text as click. Then I will make the foreground color yellow. You can see click is written using with a yellow color. So I will make the foreground color as yellow, and I will make the background color as green. So this button will appear on the green color with yellow text on it. And I am using font Tahoma 24 bold. So you can choose the font of your choice. And this I am going to change. I am using 24. This is because 11 is very small. I will make it 24. So in this way, you can change the properties of a required control using the properties window. Now let us write code in Java NetBeans. How to write my very first code. To write code for the button designed in the previous screen, we will switch to source window. Now the designing part is over. Now we will switch to source window by just clicking on it. This is my source window. My source window will appear like this. There are a lot of commands which are already written. Please don't change them. They are by default and you do not need to change them. We want to add the code to display the message enjoying Java using J option pane in the click event of the button. So when I will double click on the button, I will I can double click on the button to reach here, and I can also go to source window by clicking on the source window. I will see you can see here J button 1 action performed. So this is the method of button where I am going to put the code. So my code is I have to display enjoying Java using J option pane. So I will write down J option pane. This is just a message display. So I will use show message dialog, comma. You can either write null or this, both are same. So these are both reserved word. So I'm writing null here, comma, with the double quotes. I'm writing the message which I want to display. So and every command is terminated by semicolon. So please remember this. So after writing this, my coding is over. And please also don't forget to import javax.swing.j option pane. Otherwise, when you run this program, it will ask you to import this file, and then also you can import it. And please note that the first two lines, they are automatically generated. You can see here this line is automatically generated, and this line is also automatically generated. So please don't make any changes here. And all these lines are also automatically generated, these codes. So please don't change any code. You just write the code which is required to which you want your program to behave like, which you really want your program to work. So just display that, just write that code. Don't disturb the other codes of this window. Now to run the application, I can use Shift and F6 key, and you can also select Run File option from the Run menu. So you can see there is a Run menu. The Run menu is this, and you can see select the Run File option from this Run menu. Then after running the application designed in the previous slides, my output screen will look like this. So this is my output screen. You can see on this output screen there is only one button which has background as green and the text as click, and this text is written in yellow color in Tahoma font 24 size. So when I click on this button, now my code will be executed, and my code is to display the J option pane message dialog box. So this message dialog box will be displayed, and see whatever I wrote down in double quotes is displayed like this, and this is a single button dialog box. So this message will be displayed when I click on this button. So this is how you can run your application, and you can execute your program. Now let us also learn one more method, how to exit Java application. Now to exit a Java application, we use the method system.exit and then within the parenthesis 0 followed by semicolon. This method, if you use this method, then this method will help you to exit the Java application. So write a program, I am writing a question, write a program to make a button and write the code to exit the Java application on the click of the button. This is a very simple application, but later on you will find that this method is very essential to be used in our advanced applications. When we write big programs, and this type of method is needed to exit my Java application. So in this question again, I will make a form, and in the form I will make a button, and again I am using the text as click on this button. So when I click on it, this window will open, and here I will add the code, and my code is system.exit and within the parenthesis 0 followed by semicolon. So this is my code. So when I run this program, this is my output window. A button will appear on the screen, and when I click on this button, I will exit the Java application. My Java application will exit. So this is a simple code. We have learned two codes, how to display a message and how to exit the Java application. So this is all for this video. If you like this video, kindly give thumbs up, and you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.